Trump just froze Pelosi in her tracks. Donald uses his executive privilege to block House subpoenas for months. Democrat leaders in the House have been trying to investigate former President Donald Trump. They want to know what role he might have played in the unfortunate January 6 incident. Trump has always maintained his innocence, but that hasn't stopped House Speaker Nancy Pelosi from sending subpoenas to several Trump officials. One thing that will stop her, though, is Donald Trump himself. The subpoenas went out on September 23 and they currently have a Thursday deadline. Anybody who doesn't comply with the subpoenas could face criminal referrals. That doesn't scare former members of Trump's staff, however, as they reportedly planning to ignore the subpoenas entirely. Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and top advisors Dan Scavino and Kash Patel haven't responded yet, for example. And all indications are that they never will, regardless of any Democrat threats. But they may not have to bother, anyway. That's because the former president plans to invoke a certain powerful privilege, and it could stop the House committee in its tracks. Via Washington Examiner. Former President Donald Trump will use executive privilege to block subpoenas from the House committee investigating the storming of the U.S. Capitol building, a new report says. Even though Trump is no longer POTUS, he retains executive privilege over events that transpired during his time in office. This should protect the aides who got slapped with subpoenas. The House committee is seeking information and documents that could prove Trump was partially responsible for January 6. But when Trump executes his executive privilege, none of those subpoenas will matter. Trump's lawyer, Patrick Philbin, will likely tell all the officials not to comply, because it would hinder the president's right to confidential information they gave him during his administration. And here's Trump's statement on the matter. We will fight the subpoenas on executive privilege and other grounds, for the good of our country. While we wait to find out whether or not subpoenas will be sent out to Antifa and Black Lives Matter for the death and destruction they have caused in tearing apart our Democrat-run cities throughout America. Executive privilege has been in place in this country since the beginning. George Washington invoked the privilege, as have other presidents since, including Ronald Reagan. So, Trump isn't doing anything other former leaders haven't done. He's just trying to defend himself and his former staffers. Update: according to NBC News, President Biden has blocked Trump's request, citing executive privilege, to block those records.